So the next part of my philosophy is I got to answer 5 questions for when I build a scouting report. The what, who, where, when, and how. If I can answer these 5 questions, we have an efficient game plan in my mind, or efficient scouting report to build a game plan. If I can't answer these 5 questions, it becomes a little gray on when they possibly start doing things that we're not ready for, or we officially didn't scout for. I believe when we can answer these 5 questions, we know what formation and what play is going to happen. All right, at least one of those 2. And when they do break the huddle and show that formation, we now know what the play is. Or if we know in certain downs and situations they tend to run the ball more or pass the ball more, we know what's going to be coming. I would confidently say 10 of the 11 games that we had this year, we knew at least what concept was coming on that down or situation. And for us as a defensive staff, that's awesome. So here's the first thing, the what, the formation. So like I said, I take 3 games, I combine all those stats. This is what we're doing. So I'm going through identifying what formations they are doing. And then I'll give it an official count. So if they go 2x2 55 times through 3 games, and they go 3x1 only 10 times in 3 games, well, I know that their bread and butter formation is going to be 2x2. And that's what we're going to practice at. We're going to rep that formation in practice when we build our scouting cards, and that's what we're going to do. And maybe we sprinkle in 3x1 for 1 or 2 plays here and there in our scout cards. Here's another example of me breaking down on my scouting report. So I don't remember the opponent on this, but this opponent, for example, up top used a H-back with two receivers to the right. Okay, so H-back left, 2 receivers to the right. So that was their most popular formation. 3 games they ran it 89 times. So I broke it down game by game as well, 33, 30, 26. The second most popular formation was trips with an H-back. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. They ran it 62 times. So here's another breakdown, 26, 17, 19. Next question is who? Who are their dudes? I heard some people call them cats, some people call them dudes. I go through and I will chart out every personnel package they have. So if they're base formations, twins to the left, H-back to the right with a wide receiver, all right, who are their dudes in the twin formation? Who's their H-back always? Who's the wide receiver on the H-back side? Do the outside receivers stay place on left and right? Do the twins receivers travel? And does the H-back and wide receiver travel? That helps, I think, a lot. Who are their different running backs? Who are their backups? Who comes in and replaces them? I also write down their offensive line. Who are their linemen? Who are their backups, okay? So that's a basic generic way of outlining that, but what we get into now is for the skilled, based off how they're aligned, we know the play. So if they have wide receivers that travel together, sometimes they only run certain routes from those sets of wide receivers. If 10 and 3 are right next to each other, they have these routes built in. They're going to be a now, they're going to be slants, they're going to be post corner. And based off their alignment, we could tell if when 10 and 3 are really, really wide, they're going to run slants. When they start stacking together, they're going to run post corner. Other times we've looked at wide receiver replacement, especially with their dudes, for example. We played a really special kid this year from a school, and every time they lined him up as the number 3 receiver, they're going to run bubble with counter to the right. All right, and it was pretty easy to tell. Okay, if they put that kid in a twin set to the boundary, all right, with H back to the field, we knew they were going to run jet. They were just tipping their hand.